Hello everyone, welcome back to Super Sam Goes Super Saiyan. So glad you could join me today. As always, we'll be drawing, so if you have a sketchbook or a tablet with you, feel free to take it out and just draw along as we go through this stream. Today I'm going to be continuing the project that I've been thinking about and working on a little bit. Last stream we did kind of the first scene of what I'm planning to do. Today we'll be working on the second scene. So let's get started. This scene takes place inside of a room. I'm gonna try to set up my perspective lines. I think that's what they would call it, perspective lines. Artists, I mean. In times like this, a bit of composition knowledge would probably be helpful, but don't know nothing about composition, so we'll just work with what we've got. Okay, so that's kind of just gonna be my space there. Let's make a new layer, lower the opacity of the previous one so it doesn't get too in the way of our drawing. And let's start putting in the stuff that we want in our room. First off, I'm going to draw a little bed here. I have a slight feeling I've made the room a bit small. That's the sort of feeling I'm getting right now, but we'll see how it goes. So that's kind of the bed there. And then over here I want to have a table against the wall. Something like that, I suppose. maybe I haven't made it a bit too small, we'll see. Not entirely sure yet. Okay. See, the thing is, in times like these too, it would be pretty nice to have a knowledge of room design as well, you know. I could look at a reference. Maybe I should try that, but today I'm just gonna try to go for just take a wing at it, you know. I guess that's also why artists take a lot of reference photos, you know, of anything really, of all kinds of material, of rooms, of trees, of nature, of just anything you could possibly think of to help them, of course, in their art. Everything does seem to be a bit off in proportion. Like, for example, this bed over here is certainly too small to be a proper bed. Okay, I think I see where the problem lies. Okay, so there we go. We kind of have the bed there. now I think I can have a better idea for the other objects in the room. How big, how small they're gonna be. Let's try the table again. Only about this height, perhaps. Even that's a bit too tall. I guess looking at my bed, compared to the height of my desk, it's not that big of a difference, really. Just as long as they're not the same height. Maybe around here. Looks like it could work. Lengthwise, it's certainly not as long as the bed. I may have messed it up again, but let's just see where this goes, really. Quite a big desk comparative to the bed. But I do like the size of that desk there. Maybe the problem is the bed. I should increase the size of that instead. There's a big old window right here. Let's see if we can fix up that bed then. Bit bigger size. Just get the level of the bed. Something like that, I guess. I seem to be doing everything in the wrong kind of order in terms of setting up these lines to make the basic shapes. But it's okay, there's a first time for everything, so. All these lines look a bit confusing right now, but should be okay once I erase everything. Well, erase all the unnecessary things. Okay, let's get rid of some of the unnecessary stuff now and see how it looks. So, again, let's lower the opacity here. It's quite low, but that's fine. I really don't need to see much of what's going on here. On over to our table here. And let's get all the important lines. No more of the helpful perspective lines, but just simple lines to make a desk. Sure, there are much easier ways to do what I'm doing right now to save time. Or, you know, maybe normally it just does take this amount of like work just to fill in a simple background, but you know, we don't know all the work that goes into it until we try it ourselves. So this is also a very nice learning experience, I feel. There's something fun about perspective. It's a bit intuitive, you know. There's all these rules in place about perspective and about vanishing points, you know. And of course it's important to know those things, but it just feels so natural sometimes, perspective. It's, I guess, because it has relation to geometry, and basic geometry I feel is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Let's zoom out. Okay, that looks alright for a basic bed. Let me just get rid of this line I used to help me find where the legs of the table go. Alright, let's move on to the bed. Hopefully I will be able to complete this drawing that I'm doing here today. There's other stuff that needs to be added to the room, not just a room. The bed is surprisingly simple, probably because it's just a bunch of squares, you know, it's just a bunch of rectangles. The table was a bit more difficult because of the legs, I feel, mostly. Well, actually that's not true, the legs were fairly simple. I don't know what it was about the desk that gave me such a difficult time, but it did. Anyways, look at that, I'm done the bed. At least I think so. Let's just take one look at it. Alright, I think I see a little issue here. And to be honest, I could probably leave the issue. I don't need to really concern about it too much. I'm not aiming for perfection here. I'm trying to find a balance between time and getting out a good drawing, but the background itself doesn't necessarily need too much focus, in my opinion. There's still something a little bit off to me, but I'm just gonna leave that there for now. Alright, on to the window. The easiest part, the window. But who knows? It could actually be pretty difficult to draw a window. When you start to draw, you realize that there are actually a lot of things that aren't as easy to draw as they seem. I mean, just take a human face, for example. When I first started to practice drawing faces, I mean, even now I can't really. I haven't mastered it. But just even at the beginning, just trying to learn a face, it is so difficult. You wouldn't think it's that difficult to draw a face. Just one little mistake and everything goes kaput. It's completely ruined. And you can be drawing for a while and think that everything's going a-okay, but all of a sudden you take a look at your drawing and you see that it's completely off, and you have no idea why. That's another tricky thing too about drawing, is that you can take one good look at it and then you suddenly realize that just wasn't what you were expecting at all. That can be frustrating. But that's why there are tools out there, books, teachers, knowledge out there that explain why that's happening, how you can fix it, and then you learn. That's the most fun part, is learning. That's the most fun part of it all. Okay, good. Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. Just a really basic room. Nothing too special. But I've forgotten one thing. A chair. But let's work on that now. After I erase this little part here. Zoom out, and let's get a chair in here. Can't have a desk without a chair. Okay, now here's also where I'm gonna have a bit of trouble, I think. Chairs don't go much above the height of their desk, so maybe around here. I think the thing about desk and chairs that is so kind of difficult for me is how thin they are. Because they are thin. And I think that's one of the things I have most trouble drawing is thin things, very thin. You know, it's easy, it's not that difficult, it's just that it's a bit tricky to align, I guess. Get everything in the proper place. I'm sure if you have enough practice, it's fine, but that's not me. Okay. Oh, I'm realizing I've drawn one wide chair, but that's okay. A wide chair is totally fine with me. Zoom out and let's figure out where the legs are. Somewhere around here, I suppose. Hopefully. Okay. Let's see if I've done this right. I want to zoom in a bit on the legs, just to try to really get them right. Again, they're really thin, so if I'm trying to draw them from afar, it just makes my work a bit more tricky. Let's back out, see what we've got. Looks alright to me. Now I guess I've just got to erase away some of the table here. Let's take a look. That is one wide chair. But that's okay. First time for everything, and that was my first time drawing a chair. I've never had a sort of formal art education, so I haven't drawn many chairs. I think a lot of art students do draw chairs, but not me. Alright, well, finally I can get on to a bit more exciting part of what I wanted to do today, and that's set up the story in this room. That's why I'm doing it, not just doing it to draw a fancy-pantsy room. That's boring. Nope, I'm doing this to set up a character in here. Now, again, here's a little bit of a tricky part. Based on all the objects in this room, I've got to figure out the height of the character. See, this is the kind of thing I like. It challenges me, because if I were just drawing a character, I just draw a character, and as long as their proportions are correct, it's fine, you know. But I'm working with a bunch of stuff here. This is a room, a lot of stuff in it, a window, chair, table, bed. I gotta make sure that this character looks like it would fit in this room. It can't be too big, too small, you know, so let's see what I can do here. Maybe there's a technique for knowing exactly how big, how small to make your characters, but I haven't learned anything like that yet. Let's make a new layer here. Zoom out a bit to get a big picture idea. Whoa. Well, I might say that the character would be about, I don't know, if I knew the height of chairs, I could probably estimate. We take a look at the window too, but actually the window's not a great way of figuring it out, because you know, I don't know if I put the height of the window properly. Again, let's just guess. Let's just say around here, yeah. It's about their height. They're gonna be standing about here or so. I should be making these lines in the perspective background. I'm just gonna make it kind of easy for myself too. I'm gonna line up the bottom line with the leg of this chair, and the top line with the I guess that's the eye level line. feel like they should be a bit taller. Maybe just around there. Still, they will be around here, but I've increased their height a bit. Man, I just don't know how these animators and all these people who do shows, do all this stuff. Well, I mean, they've dedicated their lives to it, so of course they would know how to do it. Let me just draw a... I'm gonna make my little guidelines for the character on a separate layer. I don't want it getting too mixed up with the perspective lines. Okay, about that height. Alright, now for the fun. Let's get to drawing this character. First, I want to divide up the line so I'm actually getting her proportions correct. Again, I usually do about 6 heads for the height of an average character. I'm just going to guess here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pretty close. Let's work with that. I'm going to make myself some circles. If I can find the shape making function on this program, which I thought it was the tool that I'm on now. I thought there would be the option to select other shapes, but I'm not seeing that. Uh-oh. That's a hand. It's an object. Oh my. I wonder if I can find it. Linear ruler. What is that? I was pretty sure it's here in the line tool. I'm gonna have to look that up later, but for now, freehand, here we go. Terrible circle number 1. Just as bad circle number 2. But that's okay. These are just sort of guidelines for me. Guidelines. Just making a real tall snowman here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. Let me fix these circles up. Let's zoom in a bit here. I try to draw circles in increments. Each quadrant done 1 by 1. Even then, it's literally almost impossible to draw a perfect circle, but I'm not going for perfection here. These are just my guide circles. gonna tell me how wide this section of the body is. They're even gonna help me with their curved lines because the body has quite a few curves, so these lines are going to help me find those out, because it's easy to draw straight lines. Who can't do that? You have a whole tool here, and if I could find the tool, I'd be using the circle tool too right now, but hey, this is great practice anyway, so no complaints here. But anyways, yeah, I really like to use circles for guidelines, and I think a lot of the real old masters of art really used a lot of circles. The people I know of who really use circles a lot in their art are like Disney animators and stuff, the old classics, the 12 Old Men or something. The 12 Old Men, is that what they were called? Those were like the OG masters of animation, the guys who did Snow White, Jungle Book, Bambi, I think. From what I've kind of seen in their process is that they use a lot of circles to create their characters. Look at Mickey Mouse. He's just 3 circles. He's not Disney, but also another classic. And man, there's some good the character Goofy from Mickey Mouse. There are some great animations of him, like in the way he moves, and the one I can't mention the scene because I don't know what scene it is. I don't even know what it's from, but an animator called Art Babbitt spelled Babbitt, I think, animated a scene of Goofy, and just the way that he moves, he's carrying an ice block from a truck into his house, and just the way he moves is so hilarious, but also so well done. But I just think that just by looking at their characters, you can see all the circles. You see a lot of just that shape in their characters, really. Anyways, let's continue making our favorite shape, circles. And anyways, circles are sort of a keystone, keynode. The keynote or keynode? I guess it's keynote. But anyways, sorry, bad joke, but yeah, circles are the kind of one of the key foundations of drawing. And of course, this is only helpful when I'm making a character that's standing up without any dynamic pose. And that's what this character is going to be doing anyway, so it works out for my favor. There's not going to be any dynamic pose. It's actually going to be very casual, very ordinary, nothing special, nothing too interesting, but it's gonna tell a story. And to me, it doesn't matter if the pose is unordinary uninteresting. If it tells a story, that's good enough for me. You know, a lot of this is a personal preference, but there's a lot of anime and animated TV shows that come out, and they're beautiful in their art. I'm not gonna say too much about the choreography of fighting and stuff, because I haven't found many animated TV shows that have a really well done choreography in their fight scenes. But I find for me personally, even if the art is good, if the choreography is good, if the animation is fantastic, it doesn't really matter to me. As long as there's a good story, and then I'm hooked. The art can be terrible. It really doesn't matter to me. But if the story is good, then I'm in. If the story's bad and the art is incredible, I have a pretty difficult time trying to watch it. Okay, so I have all that. I think... Well, no. Should I get rid of the objects? Nah, I'm gonna keep the objects. Let's move on to making this character. That's gonna be the head. Well, obviously, but that's gonna be kind of the size of the head. Looks like a motorbike helmet, which kind of gives me an idea. Because the thing is, I've been trying to find a lot of these tips, these shortcuts, these secrets to drawing. And a lot of it has to do with relating stuff. It's like I could be drawing a anime head like this, and sometimes it can be kind of difficult. The size of the nose, the mouth, the jaw, where the eyes are and stuff. But if I compare it to something like a motorbicycle helmet, I could kind of easily get an idea of how to shape the head. Anyways, just a quick thought like that, but let's move on to the pose now. Just gonna do a real rough sketch for a sec. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. Alright, alright, alright. Not bad, but I don't know. I don't know if this is just me. Like, I don't know if this is just like. I don't know if other people notice the same things that I'm noticing, but look at that. I had this thing just now where I was like, you know what, this character's too far from the bed. And I think to myself, well, how close do I stand to the bed when I'm making it, when I'm spreading the blanket over it? And it definitely wasn't as far as where the character was standing just now. And you know, the amount I moved, it was kind of minimal. It was like not even that big. I mean, maybe a more professional artist would definitely disagree and say, oh no, you had it way off. I agree with you. But maybe just for someone who, like me, doesn't have such a great eye for it, maybe they were like, oh, it looked fine to me. Didn't seem like there was any issue there. Okay, and I want to change the position of this arm a little bit. I don't think it's quite there. It's going to be kind of farther out like this. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that. Yeah, that's what I'm going for, really. Great, now that I have my sort of sketch in place. Well, you know what, I want to change up the pose a little bit. Something about it don't feel right. I'm going to get rid of the guideline here for a sec. See what I'm not getting here. Maybe I want her back to be arched a bit more. She's bending over a little bit more or something like that. Yeah. Something like that. Which means her legs will come back more over here. I think that's what I'm looking for. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that is what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Alright, well, unfortunately, that's all the time I have for today. We'll finish this up another time, but, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this stream. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope that you were able to draw something nice yourselves. You know, I hope I didn't really talk too much about technique or anything, but, you know, I hope you've learned something new today. I hope that you've drawn something nice and that you're proud of what you drew. I hope to see you guys again next time on Super Sam Goes Super Saiyan. Until then, I hope you have a great day or a good night, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.